Have you ever felt a persistent itch on your hands, your feet, or maybe even your chest, and simply brushed it off as dry skin or a minor irritation? You're not alone. Most of us have done exactly that. But what if I told you that itch could be your body's way of whispering a warning, one that you ignore at your own risk? I still remember Margaret, a 68-year-old retired teacher who came in for a routine checkup. She casually mentioned that her feet itched every night. "Probably just my socks," she laughed. But something didn't sit right with me. I ordered a few blood tests, and the results revealed something far more serious than a fabric reaction. She had dangerously high blood sugar levels. Margaret was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and that silly itch turned out to be her body's first cry for help. Thankfully, we caught it early. She made lifestyle changes and took control of her health. But not everyone is so lucky. In my decade of working with older adults, I've learned this universal truth: the body never stays silent. It always speaks, but often in subtle, easily ignored ways. An itch, a twitch, a bit of dryness. What you're about to learn in this video could very well change how you listen to your own body. Today, we're going to explore 3 very specific places where itching should never be ignored: your hands and feet, your eyes, and your chest, especially for women. These aren't just odd spots to scratch. These are key zones where itching may signal deeper health issues, such as diabetes, liver dysfunction, or even inflammatory breast cancer, a type of cancer that doesn't begin with a lump, but with skin changes and persistent itch. The scary part? These conditions often progress quietly and quickly. By the time more obvious symptoms show up, the problem may already be advanced. And that's why we're here, because recognizing the signs early can mean the difference between timely treatment and devastating delay. Your skin is the body's largest organ, and it's often the first to react when something is wrong inside. Think of it as a messenger. But instead of flashing lights, it offers subtle signs like dryness, tingling, or an itch that won't quit. So let me ask, have you noticed your hands or feet itching persistently, especially at night? Have your eyes been feeling irritated and dry even when there's no dust, pollen, or makeup involved? Have you felt an unexplained itch on your chest that just lingers, no matter what lotion you use? If any of these sound familiar, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Because while not every itch is a warning sign, when it is, it's often the only one you'll get before things worsen. I don't share this to alarm you. I share it because I've seen firsthand how listening to these small symptoms can save lives. One of the most heartbreaking things a patient ever told me was, "I thought it was nothing." By the time we found the real issue, we were already playing catch-up. So today, I'm urging you to do something different. Pay attention, stay curious, and don't be afraid to ask, could this be more than just an itch? Now, before we dive in, I'd really appreciate it if you take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a potentially life-saving insight. And here's something meaningful you can do right now. If you've ever experienced unexplained itching, especially in the areas we're going to cover, drop a 1 in the comments below. Or a 0 if you've never thought twice about it, but you will now. Your comment might be the reason someone else takes their symptoms seriously. I don't create these videos for views. I make them because I know what it's like to sit across from someone who regrets not acting sooner. I want to help you, and the people you care about, avoid that moment. So, if you've ever thought of itching as a minor annoyance, today might change your mind. Let's start with one of the most commonly ignored areas, your hands and feet. Because in many cases, that itch is more than skin deep. It's a signal that your nerves, your circulation, or your blood sugar could be out of balance. And understanding what that means could be the first step toward taking back control of your health. Let's begin. Sign number 1, itchy hands and feet, a silent scream from within. Have you ever laid awake at night, endlessly scratching your feet or palms, wondering why it just won't stop? Maybe you chalked it up to dry skin, a new detergent, or even the weather. But here's the truth. When the itch won't go away, and there's no clear cause, your body might be trying to tell you something much more serious. In my years working closely with older adults, I've learned to never overlook a symptom that seems small. Because in so many cases, the smallest signs are the ones that matter most. Take David, 71 years old. He came to me for a general wellness check. When I asked if anything was bothering him, he laughed and said, "Just these darn itchy hands and feet. I've tried every lotion on the shelf, but nothing worked." His blood work told the real story: undiagnosed diabetes. And those itchy extremities? That was his body's first cry for help. That's why today's first sign is so important. Itchy hands and feet might seem like an inconvenience, but they could be the first red flag of underlying health issues like diabetes or liver dysfunction. Conditions that, if caught early, can be managed. If ignored, though, they can lead to serious, even irreversible damage. Let's break this down. When you have diabetes, especially when it's not well managed, your blood sugar levels rise and stay elevated. This creates multiple chain reactions inside your body. One of the earliest is dehydration. When your cells can't absorb water efficiently due to high glucose, your skin becomes dry, flaky, and irritated. And where does this happen first? Often in areas furthest from your heart, your hands and feet. But the problem goes even deeper. High blood sugar doesn't just dry you out. It also damages your circulation and nerves. The small blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to your skin begin to constrict. Your nerve endings, especially in your feet and fingers, become inflamed or impaired. This leads to neuropathy, a type of nerve damage that sends faulty signals to your brain. Signals that feel like burning, tingling, or relentless itching, even when there's nothing wrong on the surface. And here's the kicker. People often scratch until they bleed, thinking it's just dry skin. But once that skin is broken, the risk of infection skyrockets. For diabetics, this is particularly dangerous because wounds heal much slower and infection spreads much faster. What starts as itching can lead to ulcers, gangrene, and in some cases, even amputation. Yes, it's that serious. Now, diabetes isn't the only condition connected to this kind of itching. There's another silent thread, a liver disease called biliary cirrhosis. It's lesser known, but no less dangerous. Biliary cirrhosis is a condition where the bile ducts in your liver become damaged over time. When bile can't properly drain from the liver, it builds up in your bloodstream. And one of the first things it affects? Your skin, especially in the palms of your hands and soles of your feet. The itching from liver-related issues often worsens at night. You might find yourself unable to sleep, rubbing your feet against the sheets, or scratching your palms until they're red. The liver isn't just your detox organ. It regulates everything from digestion to hormone balance to immunity. So when it begins to fail, your whole body feels the consequences. But itching is often the very first warning sign. In many of my patients with early-stage liver conditions, this persistent itching was the symptom that brought them in. They had no idea it was their liver trying to speak through their skin. Once they got treatment, not only did the itching subside, but we were able to intervene before the damage became permanent. So what should you do if you've been experiencing unexplained itching in your hands or feet? First, don't ignore it. It may not mean something serious, but it absolutely might. And in this case, it's better to be cautious than to be sorry. Ask yourself, has this itching persisted for more than a few weeks? Is it worse at night? Do you have other symptoms like fatigue, unusual thirst, dry eyes or mouth, or changes in urination or digestion? If the answer is yes to any of these, please speak with your doctor. A simple blood test can check your glucose levels and liver function. It's fast, affordable, and may give you answers you didn't know you were missing. And here's something I always tell my patients. Your skin is not separate from your internal health. It reflects it. Every inch of irritation, every itch without reason, is potentially your body's way of asking you to look deeper. Because once you understand that connection, you stop ignoring the little things. And that one decision might just save your health or your life. Now, I want to hear from you. If you've ever had persistent itching in your hands or feet, especially if it turned out to be something more than dry skin, leave a comment below with a 1. And if this is all new to you, but you're now seeing things differently, type a 0. Your story or question could help someone else recognize their own warning signs. And if you haven't already, please like this video so it reaches more people who need this information. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell because we'll be talking next about another common but overlooked sign: itchy, irritated eyes, and how they may be connected to serious liver trouble. Because sometimes what you feel in your eyes is really coming from somewhere much deeper. Let's keep going. Sign number 2, itchy eyes, when your liver speaks through your vision. Have you ever rubbed your eyes again and again, convinced there must be something in them? Dust, pollen, maybe just dryness, only to find that nothing helps and the itch keeps coming back? You're not alone. Many people experience persistent eye itching and dismiss it as a minor annoyance. But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless symptom might be your liver's way of crying out for help? It may sound far-fetched at first, but science, and years of clinical experience, tell us otherwise. I once treated a 66-year-old woman named Anne, who came in complaining of chronic eye irritation. She had tried everything, eye drops, compresses, herbal rinses, but nothing worked. When I asked about other symptoms, she hesitated and then said she'd been unusually tired and her urine had looked darker than usual. We ran some tests, and it turned out her liver enzymes were elevated. Further investigation confirmed early-stage biliary cirrhosis, a condition where the liver's bile ducts are damaged over time. And the very first symptom? Itchy, irritated eyes. The liver is one of the most vital organs in the body, responsible for filtering toxins, producing bile, and managing everything from hormones to digestion. When the liver isn't functioning properly, whether from inflammation, fatty liver disease, or cirrhosis, it loses its ability to efficiently eliminate bile pigments like bilirubin. These substances then start to build up in the bloodstream, and the effects are felt in the most delicate tissues, like the tiny capillaries around the eyes. The result is inflammation, dryness, and a relentless itch that seems to have no external cause. And while eye drops may soothe the surface, they can't treat the deeper issue. In traditional Chinese medicine, this connection has been recognized for centuries with the saying, "The liver opens into the eyes." And modern science is catching up. When the liver is under strain, the eyes often react first, before digestive symptoms, before fatigue becomes overwhelming, and long before lab values become life-threatening. That's why it's so important to pay attention to symptoms that persist. If your eyes have been itchy, irritated, or excessively dry for more than a couple of weeks, and especially if you're also experiencing fatigue, digestive changes, or darker than normal urine, it may be time to get your liver function tested. A simple blood panel, looking at enzymes like ALT, AST, and bilirubin, can reveal early signs of trouble. And if caught early, liver issues can often be managed with lifestyle changes, medication, and targeted nutrition. The key is listening before the symptoms get louder. Think of your eyes as more than just windows to your soul. They're also mirrors for your internal health. When they're telling you something's wrong, it's not just about what you see. It's about what your body's trying to say. And I've seen countless patients who ignored itchy eyes, thinking it was nothing, only to discover later that it was the first sign of a much deeper issue. So what can you do? Start by supporting your liver with hydration, a diet rich in greens, cruciferous vegetables, and beets, and minimizing alcohol, processed fats, and medications that strain detox function. Get regular movement and prioritize sleep. And if you're unsure, talk to your doctor. You deserve peace of mind, and your liver deserves your attention. If this resonates with you, drop a 2 in the comments below. Or if your eyes have been trying to tell you something lately, type awareness and share your experience. You never know who you might help by speaking up. Don't forget to like this video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Because in the next part of this video, we're diving into something even more urgent, when itching in your chest isn't just about dry skin or irritation, but could be the very first sign of a rare and fast-moving form of breast cancer. Especially for women over 60, this next warning may be one of the most important things you ever learn. Let's keep going. Sign number 3, itchy chest, the hidden face of inflammatory breast cancer. Have you ever had an itch on your chest, persistent, annoying, maybe even slightly painful, and simply dismissed it as dry skin, irritation from your bra, or maybe a new detergent? What if I told you that in some cases, this kind of itch is not just a skin issue, but a red flag for something far more serious? And for women over 50, it might be one of the only early signs of inflammatory breast cancer, a rare but aggressive form of cancer that doesn't show up with the typical lump. It starts on the surface, and it starts with an itch. I remember the case of Linda, a 63-year-old woman who came to see me after weeks of discomfort. "It's probably just a rash," she said. "Or maybe I'm allergic to my new laundry soap." But as she rolled up her blouse, I immediately saw something that raised alarm bells. Her skin was slightly reddened, thickened, and had a faint orange peel texture. She admitted she had been waking up at night to scratch her chest. What we uncovered next was a diagnosis neither of us expected: inflammatory breast cancer, already spreading beyond the breast tissue because it had gone unnoticed for too long. Unlike traditional breast cancers, inflammatory breast cancer, IBC, often doesn't form a lump that you can feel. Instead, it spreads rapidly through the lymph vessels in the skin of the breast, causing a variety of surface-level changes. And in its earliest stages, the most common symptom is itching, deep, unrelenting, and confusingly persistent. That's why so many women mistake it for a skin reaction, a minor irritation, or even a hormonal flare-up. But the consequences of ignoring it can be life-threatening. The skin may become red, swollen, or warm to the touch. Some women notice their breast becomes tender, heavier, or starts to swell unevenly. Others see their skin take on a pitted, rough texture like the surface of an orange. But what ties all these signs together is that they often come with itching that worsens at night, interfering with sleep, and slowly becoming impossible to ignore. And still, many women wait, thinking it will pass. In my experience, this is one of the most heartbreaking oversights. Not because women are careless, but because they are conditioned to downplay their symptoms, to put others first, to tell themselves it's probably nothing. And that delay can be the difference between early detection and a late-stage fight for survival. Let's be clear, not every itchy breast means cancer. But when the itching is persistent, unexplained, and comes with any of the following signs, it deserves immediate attention. Redness or darkening of the breast, swelling or firmness that feels unusual, skin that looks or feels thickened, pitted, or bruised, a sensation of heat, pain, or heaviness in one breast, enlarged lymph nodes under the arms or near the collarbone, changes that do not improve after a week or two. Inflammatory breast cancer can advance in just weeks, making it one of the fastest-moving forms of cancer. Because it doesn't present with a traditional lump, mammograms may even miss it in its early stages. That's why you are your own first line of defense. Paying attention to your body, your skin, your sensations, your instincts can quite literally save your life. If you notice these signs, the next step is not to wait, it's to act. Schedule a clinical breast exam immediately. If needed, imaging like an ultrasound or MRI may help spot tissue changes, and a biopsy can confirm what's happening beneath the surface. Yes, it's scary, but knowledge is power. And with early diagnosis, there are more treatment options and better chances of full recovery. I often tell my patients, your skin is a storyteller. It reflects what's happening beneath the surface, especially when it comes to diseases that invade through the lymphatic or vascular systems. Inflammatory breast cancer doesn't wait, and neither should you. Now, let's take a moment to reflect. If you've ever had unexplained itching on your chest, especially if it came with any of the changes we just discussed, please drop a 3 in the comments below. And if this is the first time you're hearing that itching can be linked to breast cancer, type new awareness so we know this video made a difference. Because when we talk about these things, when we share them out loud, we save lives. One conversation at a time. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Someone out there may need this information, and you can help it reach them simply by sharing. So far, we've looked at how itching on the hands and feet could signal diabetes or liver disease, how itchy eyes may be your liver's distress call, and now, how itching on your chest may be the earliest symptom of a hidden and aggressive cancer. But there's still one more truth I want to leave with you. Because sometimes, the real danger is not the itch itself, but how quickly we dismiss it. Let's not do that anymore. Let's listen. We've just explored 3 places on your body where itching might mean something much more than a simple irritation: your hands and feet, your eyes, and your chest. And now that we've come to the end of this journey, I want to leave you with a message that's not just medical, it's personal. Because after more than a decade working with older adults, one thing has become incredibly clear to me: your body is always talking to you. The question is, are you listening? Itching may seem like such a small thing. It's easy to dismiss. It's easy to tell yourself, it's just dryness, or I probably touched something. We all do it. We all push through symptoms, ignore warning signs, and focus on everything else but ourselves. But when the itching doesn't go away, when it lingers, or comes with other strange changes, it's not just a random occurrence. It might be your body waving a little red flag, trying to get your attention before things get worse. I've seen it happen more times than I can count. A patient walks in thinking they're just here for something minor: itchy skin, tired eyes, a little swelling, and they leave with life-saving information. Not because they came in scared, but because they came in curious. They chose to investigate, and that one decision made all the difference. You see, one of the biggest risks we face as we get older isn't always the disease itself. It's how long we wait to respond to it. The longer we wait, the fewer options we have. The earlier we act, the more power we gain. And sometimes, it all begins with listening to a symptom that seems like nothing. If there's one thing I hope you take from this video, it's this: never ignore your body's whisper. because it never whispers without a reason. The itch in your hands and feet could be a sign of blood sugar imbalance, poor circulation, or early neuropathy from diabetes. The irritation in your eyes might be your liver struggling to filter toxins. And that itching in your chest, especially if it comes with other changes, could be your skin trying to tell you that something deeper is happening in your breast tissue. None of these signs should be taken lightly, but neither should they fill you with fear. The goal here is not to create anxiety, it's to awaken awareness. To remind you that the more we understand our bodies, the better we can protect them. Your health isn't just in the hands of doctors. It starts with you, your attention, your instincts, your willingness to speak up when something feels off. And if there's one thing I've learned from my patients, it's that the strongest people aren't the ones who never get sick. They're the ones who don't ignore the signs when something doesn't feel right. So right now, I'd like to ask you something. If any part of this video resonated with you, if you've ever had unexplained itching, or if you've learned something new today that you didn't know before, please take a moment to leave a comment. You can type, "I'm listening now," to let me know you're walking away with more awareness. Or feel free to share your personal story. Your voice matters, and your story could help someone else feel less alone and more empowered to act. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the YouTube algorithm reach more people who might need this exact information at the right time. Better yet, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, because we're building a community of people who want to age with strength, dignity, and awareness. And we do that together by learning, growing, and listening. I'll leave you with this. Your health is not just a responsibility, it's a relationship. And like any relationship, it begins with communication. So the next time your body sends you a message, whether it's an itch, a twinge, a little fatigue, don't silence it. Don't push it aside. Ask it questions. Investigate with curiosity and compassion. And then, act. Because sometimes the quietest symptoms are the ones that matter most. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And above all, keep listening.